Please come to question number 2. Please come to this wonderful question number 2. One more practice on automatic cancellation or late extension problem. So write down question number 2 as very important. It is in the cell practice. It was asked for 9 marks in May 15 exam, and it was repeated in RTP also May 18, and then you have just now solved one problem that was also asked in the exam. It is just copy paste version of the previous problem we have solved, but I want one more practice because very important, and on your own if you try for the first time you can go wrong. So let us practice one more time, and then I will request you that close the answer, solve it again yourself one more time, and then that will give you confidence to solve this question. So here we begin reading the problem. An importer booked a forward contract with his bank on 10th April for USD 2 lakh. So this is a problem again of an importer. The previous question was also of a person who had to make the payment. So situation is same. The contractual date is 10th April, currency 2 lakh. The original due date is 10 June and the forward rate agreed is 64.4000. This is the rate at which importer has agreed to buy, bank has agreed to sell. And what bank did? The bank covered its position in the market at rupees 64.2800. The idea was that when the customer will come on the 10th June, the bank will purchase from the market at 64.2800 and sell it to the customer at 64.4000. The difference will become the profit of the bank. The exchange rate for dollar in the interbank market on 10th June and 20th June. Now why 20th June is given? Maybe the customer has delayed in approaching the bank. That is why 20th June is given. He should have come on 20th June. But it seems he should have come on 10th, he has come on 28th. What are the rates given to you? Spot rate is given USD. So these are the spot rate on 10th June, spot rate on 20th June. Then spot June. This is the forward rate for June. So if it does not come on 10th June, the bank will enter into a forward contract for the nearest forward contract available, which is June. And these are the forward rates for June, July, August, September. Forward rates for July, August, September. Now the question is same, copy paste version. Exchange margins 0.10% and interest on outlay of fund is 12%. The importer requested on 20th June. So the importer has come on 20th June, that is, it is a question of late extension, and he wants to extend the contract till 10th August. That means we have to cancel the old contract and enter into a new contract which will mature on 10th August. So we will have to apply 10th August forward rate for answering this question, new contract rate. In this question also, the question says rates must be rounded off to 4 decimals in multiples of 0.0025. On 10th June, bank swaps by selling spot and buying 1 month forward. Bank swaps by selling spot and buying 1 month forward. This is, they are just reminding you that you will have to compute swap gain or loss. So 3 charges will be levied upon the customer. One is cancellation charges, swap loss, interest, total cost. And then point number 2 says calculate amount payable on $2 lakh. So once you are able to identify the cancellation rate, using that rate you will calculate cancellation charges payable. Then swap loss we will calculate difference between the spot selling and forward buying. Interest we will calculate the difference between inflow and outflow of fund and the interest rate on that. Then total cost, new contract rate. Exactly same 6 questions were there in the previous problem, and for our understanding we will add one more question, number 7, new contract rate. New contract rate if the customer wants delivery on 20th June. New contract rate if the customer wants delivery on 20th June. If the customer wants delivery on 20th June. New contract rate if the customer wants delivery on 20th of June. So this will help us to understand the question for all the 3 situations. If the customer cancels the contract on 20th June, then there is no need for new contract rate or this question. Only 5 answers will be required in your exam. If the customer wants extension, then you will require first 6 answers. If the customer wants delivery on 20th June, these 5 answers will be common. These 5 answers which I have ticked mark 1, 2, 3, 4 and 6, they will be common, plus you have to find out the new rate. So that new rate will be on the 20th June. We will discuss whether buying rate is applicable or selling rate is applicable. In case there is a transaction between the bank and the customer, you will have to adjust margin. If the transaction is between bank and bank, then you don't have to adjust for the 0.10% margin, right? So I will ask you to first write down summary of transactions, and this will help us to solve the problem easily. Summary of transaction into bracket from bank's point of view. From bank's point of view. So there is a bank. On one hand, it has entered into a forward contract with the customer. It has also entered into a forward contract with the interbank. First write down 10th April. Keep the book in front of you. With customer, forward sell $2 lakh. Forward sell $2 lakh. Can you see first paragraph? At rupees 64.4000 due on 10th of June. Due on 10th of June. With interbank. With interbank. Point B. With interbank. Forward purchase $2 lakh. Forward purchase $2 lakh at rupees 64.2800. At rupees 64.2800 due on 10th June. Due on 10 June. The idea was that if the customer will come on 10 June, take from one party, give it to other party, enjoy the difference as profit. But the customer came on, customer did not come on 10 June. This is 10 June, customer has defaulted. He has not come. We were waiting. Where is the customer? Customer is not there. Now bank has entered into a forward purchase contract with the interbank. This is the due date. So what it will have to do? It will have to purchase from the interbank and again sell it in the spot market. Purchase and then sell it in the spot market. So that will result into the inflow or outflow of cash. So point number C, take delivery under contract B. Take delivery under contract B. So what is the rate? Same rate. 64.2800. So they have committed to purchase. Now they will purchase, and what they will do with this dollar? They will sell it because the customer has not come. The idea was to purchase from interbank and sell to the customer. Customer has not come, so they have to dispose of this $2 lakh in the spot market. Now please come to 10th June column. 10th June column. Please come to middle column in your book. 10th June. This bank wants to sell dollar. Interbank will apply bid rate. Bid rate. Can you see bid rate 63.80? This bank would sell, interbank would buy. Bid rate is applicable. Bid rate is applicable, but you don't have to add margin here because this is a transaction between bank and bank. Transaction between bank and bank, do not add margin. Now this contract is over, but then the customers has still not come. He can come anytime in the next 15 days. So what bank will do? Bank will enter into a forward purchase contract available for the nearest maturity given to you. The nearest maturity is June. The nearest forward contract is available for June itself. So forward purchase due June. Look at 10th June column. If I have written here 10th June, you have to refer 10th June column. This bank would want to purchase, interbank would want to sell. So you will have to apply ask rate. You have to apply ask rate. Our bank wants to buy forward. Interbank will sell forward. So interbank selling rate, ask rate will be applicable. So in the month of 10 June, on the 10th June, second line ask rate, you will see this rate 63.9500, 63.9500 ask rate. So you can circle that rate on 10th June, second line. You can circle this rate also. This is a spot rate at which he sold. These two rates are important to identify. Difference between D and E, sell spot, buy forward is swap difference, and the difference between C and D is inflow or outflow of fund. So C and D will be required for interest. D and E would be required for swap loss calculation. Now the customer comes on 20th June. He wants to extend the contract by another 2 months. So his previous contract will be cancelled at the spot rate. His previous contract will be cancelled at the spot rate. He is an importer. Earlier he had contracted to buy. In order to cancel, the opposite position will be sell. The importer, earlier he had entered into a contract to buy. Original contract was to buy dollar. Opposite contract will be sell dollar. The applicable rate will be bid rate. However, here the transaction is with customer. So interbank bid rate on 20th June, interbank spot bid rate on 20th June minus margin will become applicable rate for cancellation. So you please look at the 20th June column, first line, 20th June, third column, first line, spot rate, and look at the spot bid rate. You will find this number in the first line, 20th June, 63.6800 minus exchange margin at the rate of 0.10%. So this original contract gets cancelled, and now we'll enter into a fresh contract. To the importer wants to buy dollar on 10th August. So bank will apply selling rate plus margin. Forward selling rate, forward sale due 10th August. The rate will be, if you want to write here, the forward sale rate will be 64.2500. Look at August. August is the fourth line, last column. 64.2500 and plus margin. This is the rate at which the new contract will be entered into. Look into 20th June, August, 64.2500 plus margin. This is the main story. Now this box we are just writing for closing this table. There is a contract to purchase forward due June. We are in the month of June only. So they will purchase dollar under contract E, take delivery under contract E, and spot sale at rupees 63.6800 and spot sale at rupees 63.6800 and spot sale at rupees 63.6800. That is the rate they had used here for cancellation, right? So cancellation will be based on original rate and cancellation rate, which is this rate minus 0.10%. New rate will be this rate plus 0.10% margin. Swap loss based on this difference. Interest cost based on C and D difference. That's it. Between A and F, cancellation, C and D interest, D and E swap. Everything explained to you. Now we'll start writing the answer. So you have total 6 questions plus 1 question I have dictated. Please write. Point number 1, cancellation rate. Cancellation rate. The forward sale contract shall be cancelled at spot TT purchase for dollar, prevailing on the date of cancellation as follows. Underline the word date of cancellation. For your understanding, you have to refer 20th June column, which is the date of cancellation. See step number particulars amount. Step number 1, dollar per rupees market buying rate. You look at the 20th June spot buying rate. You will find first line buying rate on 20th June is 63.6800. Now here we are cancelling the contract with the customer, so margin will be adjusted. So in case if it is bid rate, the rate applicable to the customer will be bid rate minus margin. We, that is the bank, will buy from the customer at a lower rate than the interbank buying rate and sell to the customer at a higher rate than interbank selling rate. So point number 2, write down less exchange margin. Less exchange margin at the rate of 0.10%. Less exchange margin at the rate of 0.10%. 0.0636. So answer will be cancellation rate 63.6163 or 64 probably. Let me try 63.6800 minus 0.1%. 63.61632. No problem. So 613 is okay. Now this is closer to which of the two numbers? I am asking you a question. Is it closer to 63.6150 or is it closer to 63.6175? 6150 or 6175? So the answer is 6175 because there the gap is only 12 numbers. Here the gap would be 13 numbers. So very close. So round off to 63.6175. Round off to 63.6175. Round off to 63.6175. What is my next question in the book? Roman 2, amount payable on $2 lakh. So this is the rate at which the contract will be cancelled, and in the first paragraph the importer had booked the forward contract at 64.40. So he will suffer loss. If you look at the contract from importer's angle, he bought at 64.40 and now he is reversing at 63.6175. So there is a loss to the importer. There is a loss to the importer. So we'll go back to the question. Underline this rate now. This will be used for finding the cancellation loss. So write down step 2 or answer 2. Cancellation charges payable. Cancellation charges payable. Step number particular amount in rupees. Point number 1. Bank sales. So bank had earlier contracted to sell $2 lakh at the rate of 64.4000. So therefore the total value is 1,28,80,000. Now the bank has reversed it by buying at a lower rate. So bank buys $2 lakh. Bank buys $2 lakh at rupees 63.6175. At rupees 63.6175. So bank bought it at a lower value. Same contract sold at a higher value, bought at a lower value from bank's point of view. From importer's point of view, bought at a higher rate and importer sold at a lower rate. Either way, the answer is importer will suffer the loss. Cancellation charges payable by the customer. Cancellation charges payable by the customer. A minus B, 1 minus 2. Point number 1 minus point number 2. 1 and 2. So this is 1,56,500. 156,500. Okay. After that, again I will just remind you that look at the summary of transaction for my next answer. My next question is swap loss. This is the swap transaction bank had to undertake because of late extension. It sells spot at this rate, it buys forward at this rate. So therefore this will result into loss to the bank. The loss will be equal to difference between these two rates. Again, no need to add margin here. Just whatever loss the bank suffered will be recovered from the customer. So that is called swap loss. Purchase rate is higher than selling rate. So answer of third question, write down swap loss. On 10th June, the bank does a swap sale of dollar at market buying rate of rupees 63.8000, rupees 63.8000, and forward purchase for June, at market selling rate of rupees 63.9500. Bank does a swap sale of dollar at market buying rate of 63.8000 and forward purchase for June at market selling rate of rupees 63.9500, which is also appearing in your summary. So write down, bank buys at 63.9500. Market is selling, bank is buying. No confusion. If the market is selling, this bank is buying. So this rate is the rate at which our bank bought dollar, and this rate is the rate at which our bank sold dollar. So bank sells at, market is buying, our bank is selling 63.80. So how much loss did the bank suffer per dollar? So swap loss per dollar, point number 1 minus point number 2, 0.1500. Therefore, total swap loss for $2 lakh. Total swap loss for $2 lakh in rupees is rupees 30,000. Total swap loss for $2 lakh in rupees is equal to rupees 30,000. So this is my swap loss. What is my next question? Next question is interest on outlay of fund. Let us look at the summary of transaction. In point number C, bank purchases $2 lakh at this rate, outflow, and the same dollar was immediately sold in the spot market at this rate, so inflow. But you will see the outflow is at a higher rate than the inflow, so there is a net outflow. On the net outflow, interest will be charged at the rate of 12%. And how many days? The number of days for interest calculation will be this date, original due date, and the date when the customer comes. The date when the customer comes, for this 10 days, the funds gets blocked and the bank will charge the interest on that. So write down, on 10th April, the bank receives delivery under contract, under cover contract. Under cover contract means contract with the interbank at rupees 64.2800 and sales spot at rupees 63.8000. This is my fourth answer, interest on outlay of fund. So first point is bank buys at 64.2800, bank sells at 63.8000. So point number 3, outflow per dollar is 0.4800. Outflow per dollar 0.4800. Point number 1 minus point number 2, outflow per dollar. Below the table, write down point number 4, outlay for $2 lakh. Outlay for $2 lakh. So total outflow will be 2 lakh into 0.4800. Check the calculation. Total outflow will be 96,000 rupees. On 96,000 rupees, they will calculate interest at 12% for 10 days. So point number 5 write down. Interest on outlay of fund rupees 96,000 at the rate of 12% for 10 days. So check the answer. It comes to approximately 320 days. 96,000 into 12% into 10 divided by 360. If 96,000 into 12% into 10 divided by 360, if I do, I get 320. But if I take 365, I get a little different answer. It seems the institute have taken 360 days for this calculation. But in the earlier answer, they had taken 365 days. One more way how to confuse a student. Welcome to institute. So 320 write down based on 360 days. Whatever number of days you will write, you write an assumption, okay, in the exam. If they specifically mention the number of days in the question, give the respect to the institute. 320. So now we are back to this question number 2. My next question is new contract rate. The customer has come on 20th June. This is the question in front of you. And he wants to extend the contract till August. He is an importer. He will buy, bank will sell. The applicable rate will be interbank selling rate. Interbank selling rate plus margin 0.10%, and then you will round off by applying the concept of 4 digits multiple of 0.0025. So take this rate, add this time because the bank is selling, and round off. So the next answer is answer 4, new contract rate. New contract rate. The contract will be extended at current rate. The contract will be extended at current rate. The contract will be extended at the current rate. So now write down step number, particular amount. First write down rupees, dollar per rupees market forward selling rate for August. So you have to go to 20th June column because the customer is right now standing on 20th June in front of us. So on 20th June the forward rate for August, on 20th June forward rate for August, and you have to refer the selling rate because we have to sell to the customer. Customer is an importer customer, ask rate is applicable. But because this is an interbank rate, we are going to ask him to pay 0.10% more. Our margin, add exchange margin 0.10%, rupees 0.0643, and new contract rate 64.3143. 64.3143, but this I need to round off in multiple of 25. So what will you do? Will you take it as 25 or will you take it as 50? The last 2 digits will take it as 50. It is closer to 50 rather than 25. So therefore, rounded off to rupees 64.3150. Rounded off to rupees 64.3150. You can lose 1 mark here in case if you don't round it off properly. This question is for 9 marks, 6 question 1.5 marks each. So even if a small mistake is made here in rounding off, either you lose 1 mark or 1.5 marks. Next, which is the simplest one, total cost, subject to your other answers are right. If other answers are wrong, this will automatically be wrong. Then you don't have to show any special intelligence to make it wrong. Step number, particulars, amount. Step number 1, cancellation charges. Step number 2, 1,56,500. Go to step 2, 156,500. Type on calculator 156,500 plus sign. Will come to next point, swap loss. Step 3, plus 30,000 again plus, and then interest on outlay of fund. Step 4, plus 320 equal to. So now you will get your total cost 186,820. 186,820. 186,820. So your original question will end here, but suppose they add one more question. In case if the customer wants to take delivery on 20th of June, he does not want to extend, he wants to take delivery, same thing we'll do. We'll go to 20th June spot because he wants delivery. That means the importer wants to buy. If the importer wants to buy, bank will sell him dollar, bank will apply ask rate plus margin rounded off to 0.0025. So the last question number 7 on the screen below, right side below in red font, new contract rate if the customer wants delivery on 20th June. Please write the answer of that question. That was not asked by the institute. I am adding it. New contract rate if the customer wants delivery on 20th June. New contract rate if the customer wants delivery on 20th June. If the customer wants delivery on 20th June. After writing the heading, draw this table. Step number, particulars, amount. You will answer 7th question only if it is asked in the exam, but we are future ready. Step number 1, interbank selling rate in bracket spot. Interbank selling rate in bracket spot, bracket close. So that is, you will see 63.7200. First line 20th June selling rate, and we are going to add margin. Bank is selling to the customer, it will add margin. So this is 0.0637. After adding margin, selling rate to the customer, 63.7837. 63.7837. But it is not in multiple of 25. So I have to round it off to the multiple of 25. 37 can either be 25 if I reduce it, or can be 50 if I increase it. So which side you will tilt? It is closer to 25 or 50. Is 37 closer to 25 or 50? The answer is 25. 37 minus 25, gap is 12. 50 minus 37, the gap is 13. So the difference has to be lower. 63.7825. Okay. So this answer is over. One more question I will dictate. Very, very important. Coincidentally, in the exam, the questions were based on importer. So now I am going to give you a question which is based on exporter and late either cancellation or late extension, whatever is that. So please write down one question coming on the screen. You have already written important. This question is yet to be asked in any of the ICI study material or RTP or exam, waiting for being asked. On 1st January, the bank enters into a forward purchase contract. The bank enters into